Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful, stormy Budapest here in Central Europe. I hope everybody has had a fantastic week and is looking forward to a wonderful weekend. Hi, Barendra. Hi, Daniel. Good to see our members in the class. This is a members chat class. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. We will have an all chat class in 90 minutes, finishing sections 3 and 4 of the listening we started yesterday. But for this class, we are focusing on the task 2 essay for the IELTS exam that we started yesterday. Hi, Awaz. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? While we wait for some more members, this lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com for the academic version of the exam. Check us out there. 6 original practice exams, a fully interactive course for your tablet, phone, PC, as well as over 100 hours of video lessons. If you're learning for the general version, check us out at gieltshelp.com. We help hundreds of students daily and thousands of students monthly to reach their IELTS exam goals. So make sure to check us out there. Join the premium package. The websites very quickly look like this. This is the academic version with the blue background. Click that big red button to join the premium package there. This one is the general version with the green background. Same idea. Click that big red button to join the premium package there. Also download our app, Academic IELTS Help, from your Android and iOS app stores. If you have questions, comments, concerns about the exam, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will gladly answer your inquiry to the best of my capacity. And now let's go over in a couple minutes the task 2 that we looked at yesterday, members. We'll review the question, a couple of our notes, and then begin writing our body paragraphs. So the question was, you should take about 40 minutes to complete this task. Many jobs that were done by people are now done by machines and computers. Some people believe that this is a positive development, while others feel this is a negative for society. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Hi, Chabi. Good to see you in class. Use examples and explanations from your own knowledge and experience. Okay? Now, to make sure that you're writing a really good essay, I highly recommend taking a quick glance at the question before you compose your thesis and after each body paragraph. Okay, so that's a tip for today before we get into the lesson further. So it is a very good idea to take a quick read of the task 2 question before you write your thesis. That's 1. After body 1, that's 2. And after body 2, that's 3. In this way, you will come up with more specific ideas, and you will stay on topic. Okay, so remember, take a glance at the question. Okay, that only takes a few seconds and can really save you some band scores. All right, so in this case, we're talking about jobs. Hi, Preeti. Hi, Shenghung. I see some more members are joining in. Hi, Daniil. So talking about jobs are activities where we sacrifice or give our time and energy in exchange for money. And this has been replaced by automation for both service and production industries. Why? Because it's cheaper, faster, more convenient, easier to manage, more accurate work, non-stop labor, and greater profits for companies to use computers and machines. We can see this automation with automatic teller machines in banking, parking meters, self-checkout cashiers, packaging machines, self-driving combines on farms. Negatives, it leads to less employment, more crime, more poverty, sloth. It leads to dependence on machines, more pollution, less creativity, substance abuse, and a larger gap among socioeconomic classes. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Okay, and then we wrote our introduction. So for today's class, members, let's use the introduction that I have for us. So let's stick with this thesis so we're all on the same page. Let's review it, and then we'll get into body one. So most products and services that people use these days are provided by machine labor. Historically, humans have exchanged their time and energy for money, which they can use to purchase their needs and wants. However, these days, machines have replaced millions of jobs in both the production and service sectors. This replacement of human labor by automation is beneficial for profit and convenience, but it also leads to increased poverty and pollution. For the latter reasons, I am opposed to the idea of exchanging human jobs with machines. Okay. All right. I don't like that word exchanging. So I'm going to go with substituting human jobs with machine labor. Okay. All right. So body paragraph 1, what is that going to be about? So what should body paragraph 1 be about? What should it start with? All right. I'm hoping that our members are focused and thinking ahead, planning ahead. Shang Hung says, begin with the topic sentence. Right. Start writing the topic sentence, students. So let's do this together. Okay. So again, this topic sentence will deal with the first point in the thesis. So that means automation is beneficial for profit and convenience. So it's convenient and it's profitable. Okay. So our topic sentence has to define this idea of profit and convenience in greater detail in a sentence. Okay. So Roshni says user-friendly, sure, okay. User-friendly, that's definitely, Roshni, where you can connect user and friendly with a hyphen because you're expressing one concept, right? So it's user-friendly. Shang Hung says machine labor is significantly more convenient than human labor. Companies are getting greater profit more than ever before. Shang Hung, that's not bad, okay? So you have the right idea. However, it's quite repetitive. So you're using the word profit in your topic sentence and you're using it in your thesis as well. It's a bit redundant. Try to define the concept of profit, okay? Same with convenience. So what does it mean that it's more convenient? Your goal is always to define, clarify, go into more detail. That's what will create good writing. So Daniil Tarasov says, clarify the idea. To be more specific, Daniil, you have to clarify the idea of point number 1, which is the benefits of automation for profit and convenience. Okay. So you're right, Barendra. It's the advantages of automation, especially for corporations and wealthy people. Define it. So give me a topic sentence that makes that clear, makes the perspective clear for your reader, the author's perspective. I'm going to do that while I wait for you, and then we'll compare our notes. All right. All right. Let's see what you have. Chabi says machines are faster in production than traditional manual labor. Keep going, Chabi. So you're on the right track for your topic sentence. Keep going. Okay. Roshni says, due to revolutionization of technology, most companies have financial benefits in recent years for using machine labor. Roshni, you have the right idea as well. You're on the right track. You're missing the end of your sentence. Always be very careful, students, to complete your ideas. Do not expect your reader to complete the idea. You need to complete the idea yourself. Okay? Preeti, the advantages of machines have let's start that one more time, Preeti. The advantages of machines are remarkable because they produce a greater amount of goods in a shorter time than manual labor, okay? Which benefits the individual as well as companies. Okay, Preeti, you're on the right track, so we can go with that. What I've written so far is corporations and wealthy individuals can increase their revenues further through the use of machine labor, which, in addition, is also easier to manage and implement than a human workforce. Okay. So notice an interesting kind of grammar that I'm using here. The use of machine labor, comma, which is also easier to manage. And instead of just saying which, I'm emphasizing this extra benefit by using these two commas and putting in this additive connector, okay, to emphasize the addition of easier to manage and implement than human workforce, okay? Instead of implement, I might say use. Okay. All right. Meanwhile, Barendra has come up with a topic sentence. Barendra says, nowadays, Barendra, there's no dashes or hyphens in nowadays. It's just one word. So it's nowadays. And Barendra, anytime that you start with a time expression for your sentence, which is often in writing, it is followed by a comma. Okay, if it's at the end of the sentence, you might not need the comma, but at the beginning of the sentence, you always need the comma. So, Barendra, nowadays, comma, small m, machine, labor is favorable either at the corporate or individual level because of its advantages. And then you need to continue. Okay, all right. So now comes my explanation. Okay, so let's keep moving here, students. Give an explanation. When you have a good explanation, what should it include? So what does a good explanation for a topic sentence include? What do you need to consider to make sure that whether it's Joe, Mary, Jane, Joseph, Jeff, reading your explanation, they will all have a clear and similar idea of what you are stating? Chabi says, make sure to put in some quantitative language with some numbers, and Shang Hung seconds that very quickly. Very good. Yeah, absolutely. So quantitative language. Okay, what else? So for your explanation, you want quantitative language. Yvonne, your example is coming later, so that's after the explanation. That's the next supporting point. So first the explanation, Yvonne, then the example. That's usually, it makes more sense that way in most cases. There are some exceptions, Yvonne, but we won't get into that today. So quantitative language, what else? What else? Any other important piece to consider when writing a good explanation? Or sorry, a good, good explanation. What else? So keep in mind, good explanations have clear logic, are recognizable, and include quantitative as well as sensory language. Okay. So when you're giving a good explanation, they will often, Roshni, use clauses like an adjective clause or an adverbial clause. They will have clear logic. It should be a recognizable explanation. So it shouldn't be something that only Joe knows because Jane, Mary, Joseph have never heard about it in their lives. So it should be something that's recognizable by most of your audience, your intended audience. And it should include numbers as well as sensory language. Sensory language, remember our senses: vision, sight, so something that we can see, hear, taste, touch, okay, tactile, touching, tactile. So that kind of information makes explanations clear. Okay, so let's explain what we mean by corporations, wealthy individuals can increase their revenues further through the use of machine labor, which in addition is also easier to manage and use than a human workforce. So what do we mean by that? Okay. So Daniel says the use of machine labor instead of human resources allows corporations to increase income because of opportunities to save money, which are paid to people for their time and special skills. Yeah, Daniel, that's good. Okay, so that's kind of the topic sentence still. I'm not sure if you intended that as the explanation, but that's more the topic sentence. Prithviraj says machine is a one-time investment. So in the long run, companies save money, which can be diverted to underprivileged people. Okay, I think the second part of the sentence, Prithviraj, is going off topic, but the first part is very good. So using machines and computers is a one-time investment, which in the long run is exponentially cheaper than employees who demand monthly salaries of $1,000 or more. Okay. Good. So far, so good. So you're definitely on the right track, Prithviraj, with that, but just stay on topic. Remember your quantitative language. And he says when machines are incorporated companies, don't have to pay for labor, salaries, insurance, and skill management. NA, you're on the right track. Just careful with your grammar. Okay. With machines, comma, corporations do not have to pay for labor, comma, salaries, comma, insurance, and special skills. Okay, a little bit clearer that way, NA. Preeti says the banking system is quite easy because of computers these days. People can transfer and deposit thousands of dollars in just a click without speaking to a live teller. Preeti, I think you're jumping towards the example instead of the explanation. So make sure to keep those separate. Okay. Satisfying times, Chabi says, it's proven that implementing robots on a daily basis increases company revenue by an average of 40% and reduces mistakes by 30%. The production is higher and the cost of repair is fairly low. Chabi, not bad. Because we don't know which company you're talking about, use the word an average. So increases revenue by an average of 40% and decreases mistakes by an average of 30%. And then, Chabi, do not jump to the future will. Students, when you write academic essays, keep it in present tense. Use present perfect, present continuous, okay? But keep it in present tense. Don't jump to the future. Make your information valid in the present, okay? So using machines and computers is a one-time investment, which in the long run is exponentially. Exponentially, I can explain it to you this way. So 3 to the power of 3 is 27. This is called an exponent. So exponentially means that it's a logarithm like that. Okay? So this is an exponential logarithm. That's what exponentially means. In math, this superscript number is called an exponent. Okay? So notice that word. Okay? So using machines and computers is a one-time investment, which in the long run is exponentially cheaper than employees who demand monthly salaries of $1,000 or more. All right? Now, we go to the next part of our explanation, which is, of course, easier to manage. Furthermore, once these machines are calibrated to do the work, they no longer need further training and workshops like people. All right. So that means they're easier to manage. All right. So Shang Hung says, often more than 80% of people choose a machine to finish jobs than human services because automation functions 24/7 to maximize output and no need to be concerned about the feelings of machines. Yes. Okay. Good. Prithviraj says this not only enhances the financial condition of an organization, but also offers a myriad of sectors to invest extra. I'm not sure what you mean by the end of that. Prithviraj, it seems to me like when you're expressing the end of your ideas, they tend to become slightly confusing. What I think happens, Prithviraj, and what you need to pay careful attention to is trying to say too much at the end of your sentence. So I feel like in the last phrase of your sentence, Prithviraj, you're really trying to express a very complicated idea very quickly, and it's not working. It's becoming confusing. So don't do that. Keep your sentences a little bit less convoluted, so a little bit less content heavy, and express your ideas more clearly. Okay? Because it's not clear what you mean by it also offers a myriad of sectors to invest extra. I don't know what you mean by that. I have a feeling it will take another sentence to explain that clearly. Okay? All right, now comes the explanation. Or sorry, the example. Okay? And what kind of an example do we need here? So what should our example include in this specific essay? So for this specific essay, what example should I use? So Shanghung says ATMs, automatic teller machines, parking meters, automated self-checkout cashiers, packing machines, self-driving combines. Okay, so we could choose one of those, sure. Roshni says, for example, nowadays in front of railway counters, automated self-ticket machines are available for people rather than manual service because it is more user-friendly and also cheaper. Okay, that's not bad, Roshni, but you're still missing an important component. Barendra says, example, attending a class online using my computer. That's a little bit tricky, Barendra, because believe it or not, I'm still human. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just a virtual projection. But no, last time I checked, I think, therefore I am, as Descartes said, so I believe myself to be human. Chabi says Ferrari raised vehicle production by 400 cars per week using mounting and soldering robots in its production line. As a result, the company reduced prices and became more consumer friendly. Okay, good. However, you need to consider a couple of important points here, members. Prithviraj says, for instance, in the field of in the field of medicine, robotics have gained remarkable momentum, especially for surgery. Okay, especially for special. It's not good, Prithviraj, especially for surgery. Students, what do you need to keep in mind, members, for your example in this question? Okay, remember what I said, the tip at the beginning? So I said that you should look back at the question, right? So after you write the thesis, look at the question. After body paragraph 1, look at the question. After body paragraph 2, look at the question. Okay? When you write your example, pay really careful attention to the voice that you've chosen in the essay. Okay? Okay, so let's do it this way. A, pay attention for the voice of the essay, as this should be reflected in your example. After the thesis, the example is perhaps the second most important part to do a bit of extra thinking, okay? Consider it this way, members, that you have your topic sentence, and your topic sentence is a deeper definition of your thesis. So your reader's going, okay, so in your thesis, when you made the argument or you made the point that machines provide profit and convenience to companies, then this is more clearly what you're saying. Now you move from your topic sentence to your explanation. And your explanation is even more quantitative. It provides even more logic. And so your reader's going, okay, so now I'm becoming even more clear on the idea that you're presenting with profit and convenience. And then finally, the example. The example is the cherry on the cake. It's the last piece of information you give to your audience that makes what you're saying not only clear, but also have impact for your reader. So the reader goes, oh yeah, that's right. I've seen that before. And now I can put together A, B, C, and D into a very clear concept, and I can empathize or sympathize with my author and say, yeah, okay, I get you, and I'm on your side, okay, for an argumentative essay. So the example is the final component that gets that done, okay? The thesis is the first component that gets the author thinking, and the example is the final component that gets the audience agreeing to what you're arguing, okay? So take a little bit of extra time practicing and coming up with good examples, all right? Now, your example needs to reflect your voice, okay, just like your thesis. So it reminds your reader that, oh yeah, this is the personal opinion of this author, okay? And then, secondly, the example should be clever in a way that you can use it for both of your points, if possible. It's not always possible, but in many cases it is. And when possible, you should absolutely aim to choose an example that you can adapt to both of your thesis points. Of course, if it's a bigger essay in college or university, you may choose one that's adaptable to all of your thesis points, okay? So when we consider this and we go back to our body paragraph 1, so in our body paragraph 1, we're in a position where we need to use I, so something that I have seen, I have experienced, I have read, I have heard about. And it should be an example that we can apply to making more profits for the company, okay? And it's a one-time installation. And then, of course, we need to think ahead. So thinking forward and thinking of an example that I can use to show that this is also leading to poverty and to pollution. So now think about an example where both pollution and poverty is being created by this machine or this computer, as well as profit and convenience for the corporation. Okay? Think about that. Can you come up with an example for that? Okay, meanwhile, I'll do a bit of reading. So Prithviraj says, for instance, in the USA, most companies use automation rather than a workforce. All right, Prithviraj, it's too general. Think of something more specific. Barendra says, I belong to a farming family and I have seen many machines used in agriculture. Sure. Okay, Barendra, what kind of machine? What does it do? So be specific. All right. So what kind of machines pollute. Okay, Barendra says the tractor. All right. So give me a clear explanation, Barendra, using the tractor or water motor. Shanghung says, for instance, when I walk into the bank to deposit or transfer money, I prefer to use the ATM than wait in a long line of humans. How is that profitable for the bank, Shanghung? And how does that create pollution later on? Okay, so give me an example. Let's see what you can come up with. Prithviraj says, for instance, in Germany, most automobile companies have invested into robotics rather than a workforce. Sure. Okay, how does that create pollution? So think ahead. Okay, use I. I'll be patient. I don't want to spoil the fun. There's definitely a few good examples of this. All right. Or is it that machines and computers are actually better? They don't pollute more? So Shanghung says the bank gets profits from paying just for the machine and not paying salaries of employees. Okay, Shanghung, you're on the right track. Put that together in a clear sentence. Okay. Think of some examples, students. Okay. Remember, machines require power, electricity, petrol. So Yvonne says, for example, a lot of factories in China produce millions of gadgets every year and pollute nature. Okay, that's right, Yvonne. Try to be more specific, Yvonne. Think about a gadget that's being produced, which could be made by humans, and it's creating a lot of pollution. So Daniil says, the first thing which comes to mind is General Motors Automobile Company that recently switched their assembly parts from manual to automation. As a result, they increased their revenue by 8%. Okay, let's go with something like that. We could use that. So factories. So I recently read an article that GM company, you don't need to say General Motors, everybody knows GM, company replaced 10,000 jobs in their car factories with robots, thereby saving over $2 billion in salaries in the next 10 years. Okay. So again, remember, use that first person voice. So I recently read an article that GM replaced, you don't even need to use company, GM replaced 10,000 jobs in their car factories with robots, thereby saving over $2 billion in salaries in the next 10 years. It's 10 years. These machines do not need any additional training Yeah, we don't even need that. Okay. All right, let's see if anybody came up with a different idea. So Brenda says, a thrasher is a piece of farm equipment that thrashes grain. It removes the seeds from the husks. It does this by beating the plants until the seed falls out. Okay, Barendra, does it cause pollution? Can you use that in your next paragraph? Okay, Roshni says, for example, I am of the opinion that the new self-driving combines used in agriculture are not only more user-friendly, but also save an average of $20,000 per month when compared to manual labor. Roshni, that's good, okay? You can use that, all right? Okay. All right. So now I'm going to add a connecting concluding sentence. And just keep that very simple. Okay, so write a connecting concluding sentence to this paragraph. Keep it simple. Okay, I'm going to do the same and then we'll go into body paragraph 2. Okay. Nevertheless, these seemingly great benefits of automation come at a great cost to society. So that's my connecting sentence. Okay, and then I'm going to reread this body paragraph 1 just to make sure that it's sensible. Here we go. Corporations and wealthy individuals can increase their revenues further through the use of machine labor, which in addition is also easier to manage and use than a human workforce. Using machines and computers is a one-time investment, which in the long run is exceptionally cheaper than employees who demand monthly salaries of $1,000 or more. Furthermore, once these machines are calibrated to do the work, they no longer need further training and workshops like people. I recently read an article that GM replaced 10,000 jobs in their car factories with robots, thereby saving over $2 billion in salaries in the next 10 years. All right, that reads quite nicely. Nevertheless, these seemingly great benefits of automation come at a great cost to society. Okay, so now we're leading into body paragraph 2. And of course, we have our next topic sentence. Here we go. Let's see what you have. So I can see that there are some examples in connecting concluding sentences. Shang Hung says, however, more machines need more energy and less human labor. Okay. That almost works for your topic sentence here, Shang Hung, for body paragraph 2. I'm not sure if that's what you were intending. Prithviraj says this tendency has neither bad impact on the organization's wealth nor the corporate world. Maybe I missed something there, Prithviraj. Roshni says, this is one of 2 reasons machines and computers replacing people are better goods and services. Roshni, I'm not sure where you're going with there. Again, remember that my thesis statement is I'm opposed to the idea of substituting human jobs with machines. So in this case, my body paragraph 2 has to really emphasize the negatives of using machines because of poverty and pollution. Okay, so give me a topic sentence that deals with automation leading to poverty and pollution. Okay, I'm going to start my topic sentence, see if you'll come up with something similar. I'll try to be a little bit quiet so I don't distract you from your own thinking. Try to come up with your topic sentence members without reading what I type. Okay, so read after you've started your own. All right. Let's see what you have. Okay, I'll read mine while you're thinking about your topic sentence. Since the end goal of automation should be for the benefit of the greater community, loss of jobs and destruction of nature are extremely contradictory with the implementation of machine labor. So quite a strong topic sentence highlighting the two negatives looking at the thesis. So in the thesis I said that there's pollution and poverty. I'm going into a deeper definition with destruction of nature and loss of jobs. Okay. Prithviraj says, on the contrary, I would not overlook the downside of automation. Prithviraj is good. Overlook is one word, and downside is one word as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. And spell out of automation. Okay, using machines in every sector has severe adverse effects on society. Prithviraj, if it's the side that you're supporting, use strong language. So instead of saying some adverse effect, say extreme adverse effect. Okay. Preeti says machines are a big cause of unemployment and devastation in the environment that affects every creature on earth. Preeti, that's really good. Okay. You're in line with what I'm expressing. It's very good. Chabi says job loss is the main concern of individuals in the last decade, leading to destroying the economy and more poverty in society. Not to mention the destruction of nature. So make sure, Chabi, that you have both points in there. Very good. Okay, those are some nice topic sentences. Preeti, Chabi, those are nice topic sentences. Okay, so since the end goal of automation should be for the benefit of the greater community, loss of jobs and destruction of nature are extremely contradictory with the implementation of machine labor. As humans are replaced by robots, so this is my explanation now. Robots and computers in millions of professions daily, the unemployment rate globally has risen by more than 30% over the past decade. To make matters worse, the greater demand of energy supply to operate the machines, or these machines, have increased greenhouse gas emissions by more than double over these 10 years. Okay, I'm just making it up. Again, for the exam, you do not have to have the exact truth. You just have to have believable concepts. Okay, they know, the examiners know that you don't have access to Google and research there, but you're just kind of giving logical arguments, reasonable arguments. Okay. All right. Barendra says, at this point, machine labor is very productive, faster, and cheaper. On the other end, there are many disadvantages as well. Period. Barendra, that's where your connecting, concluding sentence should stop and then begin the next paragraph. Machines not only produce pollution, but also increase the unemployment in society. So that would be your body paragraph 2 topic, Barendra, giving more details, okay? So, to make matters worse, the greater demand of energy supply to operate these machines have increased greenhouse gas emissions by more than double over these 10 years. Now comes my example, which I'm connecting with my previous. While it is true that GM stands to save a significant amount of money over the coming years, the employees who were let go now need to find jobs or they become homeless. As well, the robots used to manufacture the automobiles demand thousands of kilowatts of power to operate. Okay. All right. So that is the end of body paragraph 2. And now all we have left is the conclusion. So here we go with body 2. Let's read it and make sure it makes sense. So since the end goal of automation should be for the benefit of the greater community, loss of jobs and destruction of nature are extremely contradictory with the implementation of machine labor. As humans are replaced by robots and computers in millions of professions daily, the unemployment rate globally has risen by more than 30% over the past decade. To make matters worse, the greater demand of energy supply to operate these machines have increased greenhouse gas emissions by more than double over these 10 years. While it is true that GM stands to save a significant amount of money over the coming years, the employees who were let go now need to find jobs or they become homeless. As well, the robots used to manufacture the automobiles demand thousands of kilowatts of power to operate. All right, so clearly there's a lot of academic type vocabulary used here. I'm always pushing you to learn vocabulary while you focus on structure and to express yourself. And for the conclusion, I don't have time today, but I will finish it, and then I will post the complete essay with the question on our YouTube community bulletin board, so you can go over it, pick out the new vocabulary, and again, be reminded of a couple of important points. Namely, keep in mind to refer back to your question at the end of body paragraph 1 and 2. Make sure that your examples reflect the voice of the author. And here I don't have that, so I need to fix it. And that's all you need to do to fix it. I'm certain that the employees who were let go now need to find jobs. And now I have that first person voice. Okay. And now I'm ready for the conclusion. So again, the conclusion I will post on our YouTube community board. That's all the time I have for today. Students, coming up in 30 minutes, we will do the listening section, test number 3 from book 1, sections 3 and 4. So it's the second half of what we started yesterday. Preeti, Chabi, Barendra, Shanghung, Ivan, if you're still with us. Nice participation today. Some great sentences. Every time you write an English sentence, every time you use these words, you think in English, you are improving. Keep it up. That is the key to success. I can tell you as much theory and strategy as possible. At the end of the day, it will come down to practice. Have an awesome rest of your day. Hopefully, I will see you in 30 minutes for listening, practice, and strategy. Again, check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for the general. It's a bit difficult, Yvonne, it's true, but don't give up. Keep pushing forward. Bye for now.